Hi, I'm Dana Gould, and today we're looking at 1987's The Living Daylights. It is the 15th official James Bond film and the first to star Timothy Dalton as the British super spy. But the story of how he got the role is an important story for anyone who has ever wanted something really, really badly that was beyond their ability to obtain on their own. To paraphrase the Rolling Stones, it's a film that shows you that you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you eventually get it later after a long legal battle.
The name that means excitement.
Roger Moore said goodbye to James Bond after 7 films, with 1985's A View to a Kill, and the hunt was on for a new James Bond. There was really only one actor in line for the role, and that was Pierce Brosnan. His James Bondy TV show, Remington Steele, had been canceled, and he was offered the role. But NBC had a 60-day hold on him, and ruthlessly cashing in on the publicity of being the next James Bond, picked up his option on the last day of the contract. And Pierce Brosnan, pen in hand over his James Bond contract, had to say goodbye to the role. It went to Timothy Dalton, who had been offered it in 1968, when Sean Connery originally left the part but passed on it because he felt he was too young to play the part and he didn't want to follow Sean Connery. Smart guy. The Living Daylights returns Bond to a more gritty take than Roger Moore's more cartoonish, tuxedoed superhero approach, which is not to say that approach is invalid. The 70s was its own time. The plot of The Living Daylights is much more grounded. There's no diabolical supervillain. There's a Russian guy and an American guy trying to make money with heroin and diamonds and weapons. Heroin and diamonds and weapons, oh my! One thing that sadly dates the film is the third act, which takes place in Afghanistan during the Soviet invasion. Bond teams up with the leader of the Mujahideen, the Afghan resistance, who happens to have been educated at Oxford and is well acquainted with Western culture. In other words, Bond spends the end of the film helping out Osama bin Laden and the pre-9/11 Taliban to defeat the Soviets. It's pretty unsettling to watch with the gift of hindsight. A lot was made of Dalton's returning Bond to his roots approach. He spoke a lot about going back to the Bond of the books, and this is great if you're making a book, but this is a movie. I like Timothy Dalton as Bond. I want to like him more, but I find his performance to be a little joyless, a little grim. From Russia with Love is always cited as the Rosetta Stone of Sean Connery's hard-ass James Bond, but go watch From Russia with Love. Sean Connery's having a blast. He's laughing, he's grinning, there's an ironic glint in his eye. Timothy Dalton never looks like he's having any fun. And I've seen Dalton have fun in movies, Flash Gordon, The Rocketeer. But here there's no wink, there's no irony. Yeah, it's a book, but it's a James Bond book. Lighten up. Look at how he delivers his signature line. My name is Bond, James Bond.
Who are you?
Bond, James Bond.
He doesn't so much throw it away as dig a hole and bury it alive. Compare that to how Daniel Craig, a very serious Bond, delivers it at the end of Casino Royale. He knows you're in on the joke. All that said, Daylights is a solid entry in the series, well worth a watch. Directed by John Glenn and written by Richard Maybaum and Michael Wilson, and it sets the stage for one of the weirdest Bond movies in the series, License to Kill, which I find fascinating because it's not a James Bond movie. It's an episode of Miami Vice with James Bond in it.
Whoever she was, I must have scared the living daylights out of her.
James Bond, 007, The Living Daylights.